Okay. Hello. This is Cassie Owens. I'm going to be interviewing her today a little bit. Cassie, why don't we start by you just telling us a little bit about yourself?
I am from Colorado, and as you can see, I enjoy cats. I'm fostering two kittens, and their names are Landon and Liam, and they're my pride and joy.
All right, cool. So basically, to start off, right now I'm in an entrepreneurship class where we have to find an opportunity in society that's based off of people's needs. So right now I'm trying to learn a little bit more about the need that I've identified. So I'm like going around interviewing people. I guess to start off, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the need. So do you ever go somewhere, say like a restaurant or a bar or just a gym, and and um, and there's like a long wait in the line, and you get there and it takes like an hour to get in, or you have to wait in a long line, and it's just a real hassle because you can't get in right away or it's too crowded.
Yeah, a lot of places that happens, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm very impatient, I would
When's
say.
the last time that happened, or a specific time that you remember that happening? Like you going
Um,
somewhere and having to just wait in line for a long time.
there's this bar in Midtown.
Uh,
There's usually a really long line, and I would love to know if it's long or not long when I'm leaving my house.
okay, cool. So I'm just gonna hop right into the first question I got. So does that only happen at bars, or does that happen at other places where you go?
It happens at restaurants
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, and I guess sometimes stores, like if they only have like one register open or something.
So I guess I'm gonna go in a different direction. Basically, you've already kind of expressed that you'd like to know how long a line is. So
Okay.
say you've mentioned that specific bar in Midtown. If um if you were able to know how long, okay, how often do you want to know if a place is crowded or not? So do you only want to know at specific places, or do you want to know everywhere you go?
Um, Everywhere I go would be pretty nice to know,
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
think.
So basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you my idea. I thought about creating an app where you can either rate if a place is crowded or check if a place is crowded based on other people's ratings.
Mm.
So for the feedback I've gotten from other people is that it had to be like really easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, why go through the hassle even of rating? But
Yeah.
obviously, if you want to search if a place is packed, you'd put a little bit more effort into it. But
Mm-hmm.
how likely do you think you'd be to use that app to either rate if a place is packed or um or check if a place is packed?
I would definitely use it to check if a place is
Uh
packed.
huh.
And rating it, it would have to be, yeah, super easy. Like, once I got there, it just popped up and I, like, put in a number.
Okay.
And then it went away or something.
True. Would
Because
like
I
an
wouldn't want to do
incentive
that.
program help?
Yeah, like earning points
Earning
and getting
points.
prizes.
Okay. Cool. So, like, like you said, you would like to know if every place you went is packed. So to
Hmm.
search, would you search every time you went somewhere using this app?
Maybe not every time because sometimes I have, like, as much time as I want to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of times I would use it
Okay.
to search.
So now in a world without this app that we're living in, and you want to go somewhere, what's your first step to check if it's crowded or not, or do you not even check?
Usually don't check. Maybe
Okay.
ask people if they're there,
Okay.
but otherwise, I kind of maybe go by time of day. Like
So
if it's
just past
around,
experiences, I guess.
yeah, like we're around lunchtime,
Okay.
gets busier places, or
Do you ever call
dinner.
someone or like the company or
Oh, yeah.
search the internet?
I like to call and
Okay.
ask.
And how does that work?
Yeah, it usually works pretty well.
Okay.
You just ask if they're too busy, and then they tell you what weight you would be expected to have, and then you can decide if you want that or not.
Okay. This may seem a bit weird, but I know a lot of people a lot of my friends are kind of they don't want to call someone because they don't like talking on the phone with people.
Mm,
So the idea, I guess, with my app is that it would just be easier than talking with someone on the phone, so people would want to use it.
yeah, I think that's true. I mean, it's
Okay.
easier than finding the number, calling, asking, and then they usually have to be like, hold on 1 second.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then,
Okay. Cool.
and you can't really use that for places other than like restaurants. You can't call Target and say, how busy are you right now?
Yeah, that'd be a weird question. So I guess you kind of brought up my next question for me, because I've only mentioned restaurants, bars, and gyms, but how far-reaching do you think this could be? Like, could it? I never heard Target before because I've interviewed a lot of people, and that's interesting because normally people bring up like the beach or a park or something.
Well, the last time I was at Target, there was a long line everywhere, and then even the self-checkout, this lady was checking out like 80 items. And so I was waiting there for my 2 items.
Yeah.
It's like it would have been nice to know that it was going to be like that beforehand.
Mm-hmm. So right now, I guess I'm trying to find out all I can about my need that I have. And I've gone towards creating an app to avoid lines. But what if you could make a line more fun? So what if Target could make waiting in line more fun? Because I know if you go to Publix, one of their biggest things they focus on is making sure that lines aren't long, because they know if you continue to go to like a place like Walmart and the line's long over and over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
you might not want to go there. What if, say, Walmart couldn't handle making a line quicker, but they could handle making it more fun? Is that something you'd be interested in?
It depends. Like, if I had the time to
Okay.
do it, I guess it would help.
So it's more time.
But
and
usually
not
if I'm
boredom.
like running in to get one thing, I want to be like in and out.
Yeah,
But if I'm going shopping, that would be fine.
might be looking for a good time.
Yeah, in line.
Okay. So from what you've heard about the app, do you have any suggestions or any areas of problem that you think could pop up?
I think people actually rating it could be a problem, and like, who's gonna start it?
What do
You
you
know
mean?
what I mean?
What do you mean?
Because like, there's got to be someone there to say if it's busy or not,
Uh-huh.
and it has to kind of get started that way,
That's
which
true.
might be hard.
Okay.
Because everyone else is waiting on someone else to
Yeah.
tell them if it's busy or not.
That's very interesting. Yeah, people got that reliant on the app. One of the people that I interviewed last said that instead of like a rating system, I could just use people's GPS, which it'd be kind of interesting. So, say you go to search if Fridays the restaurant is busy, you could base it if it's busy or not off how many like cell phones pop up there, like how many like little red dots or whatever are there. So you wouldn't have to rate it. But again, that would be kind of tough because then you're basing how many people there if it's busy or not.
Yeah, I think that would be hard. Like, would it have a number of how many dots there are, or like?
I don't know. I didn't really think too much about it yet, but it's interesting.
Yeah, that could work. But I don't know. I think also people are scared of like knowing that their phone can tell others where they are.
Yeah.
So I think that idea might freak people out.
Mm-hmm. So like we've talked about this need for a while now. How big of an impact does this have, like, on your life or just going out in general? Like, do you ever not want to go out because the line might be too long?
Oh yeah, like almost every day I contemplate if I want to leave my bed or not, because if it could be crowded somewhere, I don't want to go.
So you'd say it has a decent like part in your life.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Pretty strong role in my life.
You've mentioned before that you call a place.
Mhm.
If that doesn't work, is there a backup plan out there for you to use?
Going to it.
Just going to it?
Mhm.
Okay.
That would be the next.
Do you ever, because we've talked a lot about a place being too crowded for you to enjoy it, do you ever want a place to be crowded? So would you ever picture yourself using this app or this need to make sure that that there are people there?
Yeah. I guess like bars, you kind of want, if you want that scene, like you wouldn't want to show up
Hmm.
and no one's there. So I guess you'd want to know that it's busy. But yeah, not really anywhere else.
Okay. Well, I guess that's about it. I just want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Um, have a nice day. All right. So here I got Tyler here. Gonna interview him. Tyler, why don't you start by just telling me a little bit about yourself?
Tyler, I'm a junior information systems major, doing the combined degree. Yeah, I'm from Orlando. I don't know what kind of details.
No. I just
Okay,
want to get like
cool.
a basic feel of who
All
I'm
right, sweet.
interviewing.
20 years old.
20 years
That
old.
helps.
All right. So let me tell you why I'm interviewing you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in an entrepreneurship class at UF, and we've been tasked so far this semester with finding an opportunity in society.
Mm-hmm.
And this opportunity is based off a need, an unmet need that people have.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm going around interviewing people, trying to find out more about the need. I just want to find out as much as possible.
Okay.
So I guess to start off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the need just by asking a question.
Okay.
Have you ever gone somewhere, say a restaurant, a bar, or a gym, or anywhere, gone there, and the line's just been incredibly long, it's been crowded and packed, and you can't get in, or when you get in, it's too crowded to have any fun?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's lines for lots of things.
Okay. When's like, could you tell me like a time recently or whenever that happened?
Yeah. Recently, I was trying to go out in Gainesville, and there was just a huge line at one of the bars. I forget. I think it was Social, and it was just like too long. It was like 50 minutes.
So what happened? Did you like
we
wait in
just
line?
didn't go. We went somewhere else. Yeah.
Before you went, did you like check ahead to see if it was going to be crowded, or did the thought even cross your mind that it was going to be crowded?
I mean, I knew there was probably gonna be people, but I didn't know the extent, and I didn't try to like ask anybody.
Okay. So I guess that's basically the need that I've kind of thought about is when you go somewhere, a lot of times people want to know how busy, if a place is going to be busy or not. So the idea I had was creating kind of like an app, a social media app, I guess, not necessarily social media, but where people can either rate if a certain place is busy
Okay.
or search if a certain place is busy.
Okay.
So right off the bat, those are the details, the very basic details of it. What sounds good about that, and what sounds like there's a hole or a flaw in that?
Whoa. Okay.
I give you more details, but just like right off the, what are your first like thoughts about that?
First reactions. Yeah. I think it's a good idea. It's people like to know when there's other people places.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like that Find My Friends app or whatever that people are using, the literally GPS location of your friends.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. You have to like accept it, I guess, but you like literally real time GPS location of your friends like
Okay.
all the time, and it's weird. Like,
Do you use that?
no,
Okay.
I'm not into it. People like, I don't know, will always be able to tell where you are, but I don't like that. But personally, with the idea, I mean, it's good if you can like check in and like just. I don't know what kind of data you would have people give to you, but just say like on like a scale from like one
Like a
to
scale,
something, be like
yeah.
how crowded is it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
Okay.
would be
So yeah, a lot of people seem interested in searching if a place is busy or not.
yeah.
Like that's obviously useful, but
Yeah.
how inclined would you be, say, if this app came out to rate if a place is busy?
Not super inclined, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Because like I don't know, it takes the extra input. Like I know you need the people to do it, but if I'm
Mhm.
standing in line for something, I'm not.
Or
I guess it depends on the situation. If I'm like waiting or something, and I'm like, man, it's taking a while, I might as well throw it up onto whatever the app's called.
yeah.
But
But if it's not busy, you probably want it.
yeah, if it's not busy, I
Okay.
wouldn't think about it at all.
That also could work as something. But what would like incentivize you, or is there anything that could make you want to rate the app? Not the app.
Yeah, no,
to-
the line.
The line. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. To like incentivize people to want to do it, I mean, you'd have to have some sort of like reward system. I don't know
Mhm.
how you would do that if you're just gonna.
But if there was a reward system, that would maybe
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
that's an incentive.
Okay, that would incline you more. Okay, all right. So I guess we talked a little bit about the app. I want to kind of focus on the need itself now.
Okay.
We've discussed that you have this need sometimes to check if a place is busy
Yeah.
or not. How often in your life, just when you're going somewhere, does the thought just pop up in your head? Is this place going to be busy? Like not how times do you act on it, but how many times is this thought just in your head? Is it
Yeah.
going to be packed?
I mean, just about any time you're going somewhere,
Really?
I feel like I always think about it like, hey, do I think it's going to be busy right now? Just to do a little prep.
Okay, so it's definitely a need that you
Yeah.
have to know.
Yeah.
How often do you act on that though? Like by acting, I mean
Like ask people if
ask people, call someone, or
not super often. Like, I mean, it depends on if I'm trying to like meet up with people, I'll call them, I guess, and just be like, what's the situation?
Mhm.
Like, how's it going? But if I'm just like, I don't know, driving to Publix, I'll be like, I wonder if Publix is going to be lit right now. Like, if it'll be packed full of people, and
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to call Publix and be like, hey, how busy
Yeah.
is it?
I guess you really can't call Publix.
Yeah.
But so is that the only source that you use? Is friends? You don't usually you never like look up online, or you never call people. You just mostly rely on texting people or asking them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you would look up online the like current traffic at a place,
That's
but
true.
I know there are some places that do like live streams of their facilities, like the gyms here do
Oh
that.
yeah. Okay.
So you could like check those, but they're not very helpful.
One thing I kind of want to ask you about. I haven't asked anyone else about it. I've kind of just talked about it. But whenever I brought this idea up front, people say, "Oh, you can just call a restaurant to see how busy it is."
Yeah.
In my experience with some people that I've been around, they don't really like calling a restaurant to ask how busy it is, either because that's just it takes too long, or they just don't like talking to people on the phone. So could you speak to your experiences with that, as opposed to maybe just looking up quickly on an app on your own if a restaurant was busy or not? Like would that make a difference?
Yeah, so for the restaurants, if I'm gonna call ahead and try to figure out if it's busy, I'm probably gonna end up making a reservation, right? Like
Okay.
if I'm already on the phone with people and they
That's
say it's
true.
busy, I'll be like, all right, can I reserve a table for 4
Hmm.
or whatever? Um,
Wow.
because usually if I call a restaurant, they're like, yeah, we're pretty packed right now. The wait time's gonna be like 30 minutes. I'll just be like, okay, and then hang up and not go. But I think it would just eliminate that. Like if you had,
So if I could like get some certain restaurants involved with the app and make it where they could actually like book reservations using my app.
yeah, that'd be cool if you did a restaurant reservation app.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
slightly different idea, but maybe that's what it's all about.
Learning stuff. That's why we got to do the interviews.
Yeah.
Um,
So that would be cool if you could implement that somehow. That would also probably make people, well, that would change the core concept really.
Well, you could do both,
'cause then-
couldn't you?
Yeah, you could, but then you'd have to decide how. Because like, if you're doing bookings through the app with directly to the restaurant, then you already know how busy it is.
What
Like,
do you mean?
if they're putting their reservation information onto this app, then you know exactly how many people are there and how many parties and how many people in each party. So,
Oh.
but that doesn't account for if they make reservations while they're like people just walk in and like it wouldn't account for walk-ins or I guess call-ins for reservations unless they also put that information on the app. So I guess you could still have the rating
Yeah.
part of it. where
And then
people
just on
can-
top of that, you'll be able to
Mhm.
make a reservation.
The
Okay.
thing is, if you make the reservation beforehand and then go in, you're probably not going to open it again to. Well, I'm thinking personally, if I'm going to make a reservation on my phone somewhere beforehand and then go there in like a half hour, I don't feel like I'm likely to then again open the app again and
Oh.
rate.
Unless there's
Once
like
I
a
already
really
have a
nice
spot.
incentive.
Yeah, unless there's maybe if you like check in or something somehow, like
Okay.
once you get there.
Yeah. Kind of like men's the sports here. That's vague.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yes.
basically, from what you're saying, just to sum it up a little bit, you think people would use this app if if it has to be easy to use, easy and quick,
Mhm.
and there has to be like a nice incentive program to
Yeah,
make you
of some
want to use
sort.
it.
Well, yeah, what they need, or what it would need, is to give people a reason to open the app once they get somewhere.
Okay.
Don't know how.
I guess just my final question here. Do you ever go somewhere and there is a really long line and it just doesn't matter? Like you're going to wait in line either way, or do you always try to avoid lines?
No, I mean that depends on what I'm waiting for.
Okay.
So like, yeah, like if I'm waiting in line to get like concert tickets, like I did for the previous or Big Sean concert, like I'm going to wait in that line no matter how long it is.
Okay.
But if it's like to go into a bar or something, like I'll just walk away.
How long did you wait in that line for?
What, for social or whatever?
For Big Sean.
Oh, Big Sean, I waited for. It wasn't that bad. It was like 30 minutes probably.
Oh, okay. All right.
They moved pretty quickly.
Well, thank you for letting me interview you today.
Of course.
I really
Hope
appreciate
it
it.
helped.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm speaking with Alex here. Alex, why don't we begin by you just telling me a little bit about yourself?
All right, well, I'm currently 20 years old.
Uh-huh.
I'm from New Jersey. I have a passion for baseball and music. I play guitar and ukulele. I follow all sorts of sports, hockey, baseball, football. Besides soccer, I'm not the biggest soccer fan.
Okay.
And now I'm here at UF.
Okay, all right, sweet. I'd just like to get a little bit of a background on who I'm interviewing. Basically, right now I'm in this entrepreneurship class, and I'm basically just looking for more information, so I'm going around interviewing people. And right now in this class, we have to look for an opportunity in society that's based off people's unmet needs. So I have found a need, and right now I'm going to try to, I guess, find out more about it. So let me explain that need to you with a simple question. Do you ever go somewhere and it's really packed or crowded and you have to wait in line for a long time and it's just a hassle?
Way too often.
Really?
Way too often.
Okay. Is there like a specific instance you want to tell me about?
Food stores immediately jump out to me. I hate waiting in line at a food store.
You know, it's interesting because I've interviewed people about this subject before and no one ever mentioned food stores, but I interviewed someone last night and they brought up food stores too. So that, like, what do you mean by that? Like, just like it's too crowded in general, or?
Well, it makes me pretty frustrated. I go to Publix, I go shopping for maybe 20 minutes. I get all my food, and then they have 18 cash registers and only 2 people working them, and then I gotta wait another 10, 15 minutes to check my food out because it's going really slow.
Okay.
So I feel like there's definitely a need there.
How often does that happen when you go to the store?
Pretty often. I go to food store once a week. Probably happens at least 2 times a month.
Wow.
So every other week.
Okay. So in the past, I guess when I've talked about this, I've leaned more towards restaurants, places like restaurants or a bar or a gym. Do you ever feel the same way about those kind of places, or is it just at stores that you?
I mean, definitely at restaurants, but I guess I'm a little bit more tolerant at a restaurant because that just means they're really busy, and restaurants get really busy sometimes. But
Okay.
at the food store, it's so easily avoidable that it bothers me.
Okay. So let me explain, I guess, a little bit about what I like. This need is finding out more about the need, but I've developed kind of a product in my mind of how I'd like to fulfill this need. And it's basically an app. Works a little bit like social media, where people can go onto the app and click either search or rate, and you can rate a place that you're at on a scale of like 1 to 10 how busy it is, or you can search any place and find out if it's busy or not.
In real time?
In real time, yeah. So do you think that's something that you would use?
Absolutely, yeah.
What are the holes, like straight away, like this, like what seems good about this from the very little I've explained to you? What pops out as being good and what pops out as being bad?
Well, I'd say the biggest strength right off the bat would be being able to use your mobile device and see how crowded a store is and how long, so you could really gauge how long it's going to take to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the biggest weakness I see would be how you're going to be able to get the numbers from all these places in real time.
Yeah.
So the accuracy would be
Okay.
probably the biggest challenge.
For accuracy, I thought like we'd use the phone's location abilities, and like you could only rate a place if you were actually there. But as far as whenever I talk about this, people are always really interested in searching if a place is busy or not. How motivated do you think you would be to say you're at a restaurant like Chili's or you're at Publix? How motivated would you be to rate if it was busy or not?
Not very.
Okay.
I'd feel like there would be like you need some kind of incentive system where if you get like 10 ratings, you get like an upgrade or something. Kind of like do you know the Waze app?
Mhm.
So that's like you report traffic in real time, and
Yeah.
it relies on people that are on the road. And you like you start out at a low level, and like the more you report, the more points you get, the faster the it's just there's little incentives.
Wait, what do you
that
mean? It's like
motivate
the app works faster the more you use it?
No, that's not what I meant. The app doesn't work faster, but like you're able to see everything faster. Like the road expands a little bit, so you can see farther ahead
Wow.
than like other people. It's just like little kind of perks that make you want to help other people out and report that.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you had some kind of like little system like that where
Yeah.
people like were incentivized to rate the restaurant, it could really take off.
Yeah, okay. So I guess you just brought up roads there, but one of my other questions I always like asking is, you focused on stores, I focused on restaurants, bars, or gyms. How far could this go? Like, what could we possibly rate? Like, you could rate if the streets are busy, so what else could we rate if it's busy? Like, anywhere that has a name?
I guess
location?
right off the bat, I'm thinking maybe like you're from Orlando, theme
Uh-huh.
park capital of the world.
Yeah,
Theme parks would probably work great for it.
okay. That works, yeah. So how prevalent is this need in your life? So you've mentioned that when you go to the store, you'll think about if it's busy or not. How many times a day, how many times a week when you're going somewhere does the thought pop in your head or you're worried about it being too busy?
So most of my days are consumed by class, so I'm not really worried if class is busy. But if I go to the food store or I'm going out that night, I would always use it. It's just so much easier. It saves you more time in the long run.
Okay.
So I probably use it more frequently at night than during the day.
I'm saying not necessarily using the app, but like say like the app's not around right now.
Okay.
How often did the thought just pop in your head that is a place busy or not? Or are you just
Okay.
never concerned about it?
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think about it if a place is busy. I base a lot of my decisions off that. Like, I don't want to go eat at the most busy restaurant or bar. I'd rather go and get my food quickly because I
Okay.
value time.
Yeah. All right. So say now the app hasn't come out yet. What current forms do you use to find out if a place is busy? Like, do you call or do you look up online or do you text a friend? Or do you just do
Rarely.
nothing at all?
I rarely call
Okay.
ahead. Most of the time, it's either texting a friend and
Yeah.
like saying, "Hey, are you there? Like, what's the scene look like?" Or I go there and I see it's way too long and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't really check ahead.
I guess I like your point about rarely calling. I think with this app, I kind of thought at first it was a little bit ridiculous, and people did too, because you can just call someplace to find out if it's busy or not.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, they don't like the hassle of having to call someone. First, it takes longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people just don't want to talk to someone on the phone, and you might not. The real information might not even be that reliable because you're talking exactly to the party. I don't know, but it seems like the basic point of the app is that it has to be really easy and less stressful. Okay, so say you were to find out if a place is busy or not, looking up online. Do you ever do that? Like search on Google if a place is busy?
I
No.
don't think I've ever done that.
Okay, that makes sense. We've talked a lot today actually about if a place is too packed and you don't want to go there. Do you ever think like, hey, I want a place to be crowded? Would you use this app to check if a place is crowded?
I think in certain situations, yes. Like if I'm going out with a group of friends, maybe,
Mhm.
and we want to meet new people, or we're hoping it's going to be wild, We would hope there's people there.
Okay. All right. I guess I just want to talk more about your search and your need. So, say now you text a friend, like you said, to find out if the place is busy or not. If that friend doesn't know, do you just stop searching? Is it and you're just like, there's no back. Like, is there a backup plan?
Man, it's very situational. Depends how motivated I am to
Okay.
go to this place.
Yeah.
But I guess my backup plan would be to call the place,
Okay.
even though I don't want to do that.
And my final question is: say you're using this app and you find out if a place is busy. Is there ever situations where you'll just be like, if it's busy, you don't care and you'll just go anyway, or are you always trying to avoid lines?
I guess like if I'm really fiending for the Chipotle and there's a
Yeah.
line at Chipotle,
Okay.
I'll wait in it. But
Yeah.
it's a very situational based.
It just depends on how much you want it.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, Alex, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for letting me interview you.
Thanks for having me.